Welcome. For as long as humans have walked the earth, we've looked to the sky, searching for answers, guidance, and sometimes even warnings. The stars, the sun, the moon, these celestial bodies have sparked our curiosity for centuries. One event in particular that has always captured our attention is the eclipse. The rare moment when the sun is hidden, cloaked in darkness, is a sight that seems to hold a mysterious power. People have long believed that eclipses are more than just fascinating astronomical events. They are symbols of change, transformation, or even judgment. And with the partial solar eclipse approaching on March 29, 2025, many are asking, could there be more to this event than just science? Is this celestial occurrence pointing to something greater, something beyond the ordinary? Throughout history, eclipses have been more than just moments of cosmic wonder. Ancient cultures, religious texts, and even everyday people have seen eclipses as signs, divine messages, warnings of impending change, or even omens of catastrophe. In biblical times, for instance, the darkening of the sun was seen as a powerful signal from a higher power. One notable example is from the book of Amos, which says, "And it shall come to pass on that day, that I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in broad daylight." This passage, like many others, suggests that the darkening of the sun is not just a natural phenomenon. It's a warning of something significant about to happen. As the date for the 2025 eclipse draws nearer, more and more people are wondering, could this be more than just another astronomical event? Could it signal the beginning of something major? Throughout the ages, eclipses have been connected to monumental changes in the world. From the fall of empires to natural disasters, eclipses were often seen as cosmic indicators that something big was on the horizon. The Bible itself is full of references to the sun turning dark, often associated with divine judgment or apocalyptic events. Revelation 6:12, for example, talks about the sun becoming black and the moon turning red, an image tied to the end of days and the fulfillment of prophecy. Similarly, Joel 2:31 describes a day when the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes. These references, along with others, have led many to believe that the darkening of the sun is a powerful sign of divine intervention or a major shift in the world's fate. So, as the 2025 eclipse approaches, we can't help but ask, is this simply a natural event, or is it part of a greater cosmic plan? The idea of celestial events signaling something bigger than ourselves isn't just a biblical concept. Many ancient civilizations saw eclipses as profound signs of change. The Babylonians, for example, carefully tracked eclipses, believing they foretold disasters, especially those that might affect their rulers. In China, eclipses were seen as powerful omens, often tied to the fate of the emperor, and rituals were performed to avoid misfortune. The Mayans believed that solar eclipses were signs of cosmic battles between gods, suggesting a disturbance in the universe's balance. In medieval Europe, people viewed eclipses as warnings of doom, often predicting wars, plagues, or other disasters. These historical interpretations show that for thousands of years, people have been deeply affected by these celestial events, seeing them as more than just natural occurrences. Given all the historical and religious connections to eclipses, it's natural to wonder if the solar eclipse on March 29, 2025 is trying to tell us something. While we know that eclipses are predictable, natural events caused by the alignment of the sun, moon, and earth, their timing often coincides with major events in the world. Throughout history, people have linked eclipses to significant moments like wars, economic collapses, and even pandemics. Some argue that eclipses are cosmic markers, signaling times of great change or upheaval. Could this eclipse be a sign of something major about to happen, or is it just another celestial event, like so many before it? As we approach the 2025 eclipse, it's fascinating to consider how this event will be interpreted. Will it be seen as another natural wonder, or will it carry deeper meaning for those who view it as a sign of change? The beauty of celestial events like eclipses is that they provoke deep thought and reflection, making us wonder whether there's more to the universe than we can understand. Whether we view it as a simple astronomical event or as a divine message, this eclipse promises to spark curiosity, conversation, and maybe even a sense of awe. After all, the sky has always had a way of making us look up and wonder, what if this time it's trying to tell us something? At the end of the day, the decision of whether the eclipse that will take place in 2025 is only an astronomical appearance or a spiritual warning is determined by the perspective of the individual. It is possible that this will serve as a reminder to those individuals who have trust in the prophecies that are written in the Bible to maintain a close eye on the times and to continually ponder on them. It is possible that many people may believe it to be nothing more than a natural exhibition that is devoid of any spiritual significance. As both history and the Bible demonstrate, heavenly signs have often been construed as messages throughout history. It is a question that each individual is responsible for interpreting for himself, since there is yet no definitive response to the subject of whether or not this eclipse contains such a message. It is projected that the partial solar eclipse that will take place on March 29, 2025 will be visible throughout the whole of North America, Greenland, Iceland, the North Atlantic, the bulk of Europe, and some portions of Russia. This eclipse will take place in the year 2025. This celestial event will take place in the particular way that is described below. The commencement time is 8:50 UTC, and the majority of the time it will be visible in the region in which South America is located. This is the peak time, 10:47 UTC. At 12:43 UTC, the conclusion was reached. In several parts of the United States, including Brooklyn and Boston, the eclipse will take place at the same time as daybreak. This is a very remarkable detail that should not be overlooked. At the beginning of the day, a light that is both spooky and strange will be diffused throughout the landscape, giving the appearance that the sun is partially obscured. This very rare event, in which the blackness of the night momentarily gains precedence over the brightness of the morning, has tremendous symbolic ramifications whenever it takes place. Eclipses have been interpreted in a variety of ways over the course of human history. They have been seen as early warnings, indicators of imminent change, and even examples of divine intervention. One might interpret the idea of a day beginning in darkness rather than light as a number of different things, including a metaphorical warning, a portent of upheaval, a call to reflection, or a disruption in the natural order. These are only some of the possible interpretations. Regardless of whether we consider this eclipse to be a scientific wonder or a message from the heavens, we are compelled to pause and reflect on the significance of this eclipse, not only in the sky, but also in the world that we are surrounded by. There is a popular notion among those who follow prophecy and religious experts that certain astronomical events, such as the solar eclipse that will take place in 2025, might coincide with biblical end-time prophecies. This opinion is supported by the fact that there is a correlation between the two concepts. It is common practice to interpret signs in the sky as precursors to significant occurrences throughout the whole of the Bible, particularly those that are taking place in the days leading up to the coming of Jesus Christ. A warning was provided by Jesus Christ about the beginning of the tribulation that would be unleashed upon the earth, which would be preceded by cosmic disturbances. In the verse found in Luke 21:25, Jesus makes the following statement, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations," as stated in Mark 13:24. "But in those days after that tribulation, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light." This scripture describes the events that will take place. In accordance with these scriptures, Unusual occurrences in the skies, such as eclipses, have the potential to be viewed as divine warnings. Concerning similarities have been drawn between the present status of the world and the prophecies found in the Bible, according to certain individuals. These parallels include the following: the escalation of natural disasters, which include earthquakes and extreme weather events, ongoing wars and geopolitical tensions, which have reached an all-time high, and the decline of morality and society, which is characterized by increasing division and unrest. All of these parallels are occurring simultaneously. A great number of individuals are of the opinion that cosmic happenings are divine prods that encourage humanity to turn away from their sins, awaken, and be ready for what is to come. The reality that such occurrences are currently taking place is the foundation upon which this idea is built. There are many who believe that eclipses are nothing more than astronomical phenomena, while others believe that they represent a cosmic warning that time may be running out. Some people believe that eclipses are God's way of communicating with Earth via creation. Considering the fact that the eclipse that is scheduled to take place on March 29, 2025 is getting closer, the question that has to be addressed is whether or not this is only a natural event or whether or not it contains a stronger prophetic significance. Even among those who do not subscribe to the interpretations of apocalyptic events, eclipses of the sun are seen as having a great symbolic significance. Since the beginning of time, humans have understood that these astronomical occurrences are more than just astronomical occurrences. Rather, they are opportunities for contemplation, transformation, and conscientiousness. It is likely that there are aspects of our lives that are hidden, preventing us from seeing the truth and clarity. This is analogous to how an eclipse briefly conceals the brilliance of the sun. Considering that the momentary darkness may be seen as a metaphor for personal and societal blindness, which in turn fosters contemplation, it is plausible that this interpretation could be correct. The fact that the sun, moon, and earth all align with such precision during an eclipse lends credence to the idea that the operations of the universe are carried out in accordance with a great plan. For many individuals, this serves as a reminder that nothing happens by chance, and that there may be a greater purpose behind the events that take place in their life. In a number of ancient cultures, eclipses were considered to be important indicators of transformation. Both on an individual and a collective level, these were occasions for us to reassess our paths, which ultimately led to modifications in either our perspective or our conduct. Even in this day and age, such odd occurrences in the sky have the power to inspire people to review their priorities and search for a more profound purpose in their journey through life. On the 29th of March, 2025, there will be a partial solar eclipse. Although it is conceivable that the eclipse would not instantly bring about a disaster, it will undoubtedly provoke contemplation. This is a sobering reminder of our insignificance in the grand scale of things, regardless of whether one views it to be a divine sign, a prophetic warning, or just a beautiful cosmic event. It is a reminder that we are insignificant in the grand system of things. We may ask ourselves, as light and darkness dance in the sky, if we are walking in the light, or whether darkness is growing more and more prevalent in our lives. This is something that we could do. The question is whether we are paying attention to the indicators that are all around us, or if we are disregarding them as nothing more than coincidences. Regardless of whether one is a religious or philosophical believer, this celestial spectacle affords one the opportunity to pause, watch, and reflect on the more fundamental mysteries that are there in the cosmos. Do you think that this incident will be only a passing note in the annals of astronomy, or do you think that it will have a more deep meaning if one is willing to look beyond the stars? In response to your inquiry, the answer is that it depends on the person who is looking at it. The eclipse that took place on March 29th helps to bring to our notice the mysteries that are intertwined throughout our universe. Whether you believe it to be a natural event, a spiritual warning, or a cosmic coincidence, the eclipse functions to bring these mysteries to our attention. When the light begins to fade and then resurface, there is just one question that we need to think about. Are we ready for what is going to happen in the future? Despite the fact that the indications are visible in the sky, it is up to you to decide how they should be understood. You should continue to be watchful in your search for the truth, and you should also continue to keep a close eye on the sky until we meet again.